Well, JD, it's been a good run, right? We've seen teams qualify for AFCON. We've seen teams still on the verge of qualifying for AFCON. And then there's Ghana. I feel like it's their every time we talk about this team, it's their last dance. There's a chance to do something. But Ghana is doing something interesting. They are now wishing to the stars that if they get results and they get help from three other teams, they can maybe, just maybe, go to AFCON and not, be disqualified for the first time in 20 years. But this Ghana team has just looked, in many ways, if you want to be optimistic, you can say they've been unlucky. If you want to be pessimistic and realistic, you can say they've just lacked the passion. If you want to find a middle ground, you'll just say it's just not been it. But Ghana is where they are, and we have to look at that and say why and how. But welcome back to the Africans, guys. This is Ghana's last chance. It's their last chance to fly, to soar, to meteorite as the BlackStars or whatever you want to say. But when you look at this Ghana side over their AFCON qualifying run, have they looked the part, or has it just been that the other teams have been simply better on the day?
Thanks for having me, guys. Hope all is well with you and the family. Yeah, Africans. Yeah, I understand that you're always wishing for Ghana. Yeah. So, for me, you have asked a good question. Have they looked the part? No, they have not looked the part. I'm very sorry. No, they have not, because I saw Sudan just outwill them. So it's not about party or no party. It's about I am willing my way to a victory. Let's see if the party will actually stand up. And the party just died like Kendrick Lamar. You understand me? Yes.
Why are we making these references? Leave me alone.
I'm just telling you what I saw. All right. So no, they have not lived the part. All right.
No, I think that's fair. And I think that is probably the most fair statement to say. Some people will want to put their blame in different places. But I mean, if you look at their games, like you can argue that there have been moments where you look at them and say, it is actually comical how they've just refused to score the ball. Right. Yes, and quite frankly, it's really just that. It's comical how they refuse to score. Right. They against Angola, they play well, they miss the net, and then a ball gets crossed. It hits the defender right back to Millicent, and he taps it into the open net, and you're like, oh, okay. It's going to be one of those days. Fine. They play Niger. They are dominating that game. They just can't put the ball in. Iñaki misses chances wide. Jordan misses a chance wide. Even Kudus misses a chance wide. And then Sakho scores in the 81st minute, and that's the game. The Sudan game, the last window. Every winger missed an open net. It was just comical to watch. And then when they play the second leg, Sudan clearly outworks them, right? There's no doubt. In those moments, they did score early, but then that goal was waved off. Iñaki scores early, but then that goal is waved off for a offsides for some reason. He wasn't offsides. And then it goes from there. So you can look at Ghana and say they've been unlucky, but then also you can look at some of their play and say, no, they haven't played well. Now they have to basically win 2 games and then hope that Sudan loses both to have a chance to move through. But that's a lot of asking for it. But
or a draw, but goal
or difference. A draw, yeah. A draw would do, but they would need big wins because again, goal differential as well.
From not scoring none to score a bunch of goals. I don't know if the gods will favor them. Which gods?
I mean, they are due. Ghana is due that game. I mean, for the amount of chances they've created, they are due a game where it's they are due. It's 4-0 at halftime game.
Yeah,
but taxes and like you said, when there's the party there, they get taxes. It gets lost in customs.
But they are due, but
tariffs.
I feel your pain, but I'm telling you, it won't happen.
I'm holding on to hope, but expecting not much of it. So it is it's tough to really put into words how I feel about this, because in many ways, like I said, if I want to be optimistic, they were just unlucky with the chances they missed. But then I can also acknowledge they've just not been good, right? There are moments where it's just you're trying to create too much, or you're just trying to do it all on your own, right? And I think that's where it'll be interesting, and that's the difficulty looking at it. When you look at their roster, right? You see their roster, the same names typically. Tariq Lamptey, he wasn't in the squad for Brighton just past week, so I'm assuming he will be healthy, question mark. The big omission on this squad is there's no Thomas Partey, who was playing right back for Arsenal at the time of recording. So good for him, the CDM playing right back, and he's been just not right or not back. But regardless of that, I think you look at this roster, you cannot say it's not talented. You cannot say you don't have players who are performing well at the club level, right? It seems that once everyone leaves, Jordan Ayew scoring for Leicester City, right? Iñaki still scoring. Antoine Semenyo scores and keeps it going, right? I'm sorry. Did I hit any sensibilities with Man City?
That's just continue. Just continue. They shall not win in 500 years.
This is your retribution. Yes. Well, they can score against me in club, but when they go to country, they will get nothing.
Yes, they shall not win.
To me, when I look at this roster, you need if there was ever a time you needed arguably your best player to have arguably the best window, it's now. And so Mohamed Kudus, this is the window where you have to remind Ghanaians and yourself that you are the best player on this team. You have the armband. We love you. We're tired of reading your statements saying you are disappointed with how the team played. We'd like to read a statement and said we put the country on our backs and we performed. And so this is a window for Kudus, who's been suspended till December basically for the Prem. So he's not doing anything. You get your cardio in. You might as well ball out and do something here. And I think he's a player who needs to just create. And because if he can get them going, maybe that opens up some opportunities. But this team is just, again, it's a high mountain they have to climb. I still think it's more unlikely than not that they get it done. But this is a side that if their best players show up and play well, they should have been in second, if not first, in their group. So is it impossible for them to get it done? No. It's got late really early. But for you, are there players on this roster you look at and you say they need to perform well, other than Kudus, that for them to have a chance to move forward and do the impossible?
Well, as what I said, you said it's their best player. Iñaki Williams kind of get disrespected in this conversation. You know? This man have been playing football for 90 million years without taking a rest. He's like the Jesus of football, but yet still nobody give him respect in Ghana. Maybe the way out to win is to give him damn respect in Ghana. What about that?
I love Iñaki.
Talked about that, you know.
Listen, I love Iñaki. Iñaki. Yes. If you want me to get real with this, like I feel like they need to stop playing the platoon of Iñaki and Jordan as a 9. Iñaki is a 9, right? If you're gonna play, if you're gonna platoon them, play your 4-2-3-1. Put Jordan on the left, put Iñaki on the right, or put Jordan on the left, put Iñaki up top, put Semenyo on the right, put Kudus in the middle of that. Figure out who your two holdings are. You go Gideon. In my opinion, it should be Tariq on the right side. Yes, you might give up some defensively, but push it forward. You're not playing for draws here. You are playing for big wins to give yourself a chance. Worst case scenario, you want to look up and say, hey, we finished with, it was too little, too late, but we at least know we can play at this level. So in my opinion, put all the firepower out there. Yes, if they don't play well, you can still pull other players off the bench and have them do some good things. But for me, that's what I want to see. Have them do that. Bring in Fatawu off the bench. Bring off Paintsel off the bench. Bring Nuama off the bench if you need them, right? But to me, play those 3. Play that attacking 4. Go out with you playing your best. You can't try to say, hey, we need to do this. Go out, get these wins. And if I'd rather them draw a game or lose a game, hitting the crossbar 11 times, but they were creating chance after chance after chance. Then for them try to be safe, there's no space for being safe now. Play your best players and see what results you get.
Agreed. Use this as a stone to create something, because obviously a work of qualifiers as well. So you need to work on things. So just go and give it your best shot. The only thing you can do is drop short of knowledge, drop short but gain knowledge, I should say. You know, so you can use that on the back end for the work of qualifiers. So I agree. Just go ahead and keep pushing. Hopefully I can see some fight. That's all I want. I want to see some fight and believe. Not talent, because I know that they are more talented. Just some fight and believe. That's all I do ask. Semenyo, I ask for some fight, because you can play against the Manchester City, but you see you can't play in Africa.
He's been their best player. I think he's been their best forward in this run here.
Well, he's going to have to be the best forward, and let me see some goals. All right, you can tell me all you want. I need to see the same thing as Manchester City performance. That's what I want to see. Nothing else, or else I'm going to come out here trashing him. That he's no good.
Leave him alone.
Yes,
leave him alone.
So I need to see the same. You're playing average players. You're playing against average players. We need to see the same level. Don't tell me, Kudos can't pass the ball properly. Nobody's better than Kudos at Bournemouth, blood. Nobody. So don't tell me any lies. You can tell Africans that, but not me. All right? No, you're not getting away. All right, yes.
All right. So Ghana plays Angola on the 15th, and then they play Niger to end it off. They need 2 big wins to go. Speaking of teams that don't need wins, Nigeria. The Eagles are soaring. They are flying, JD.
They're getting even wins without playing. So at this point,
they are gliding.
Yes. So let me stick on the not the Ghanaians. No, the Ghanaians. Let me stay on the Ghanaians. So what are you expecting?
I'm expecting for Ghana. I think they get a tight win against Angola. So I think they win that game like a 1-0 away, and then at home, they batter Niger. Like I think they get it done. But I also think that Sudan gets the points required. I think they show the fight that we've been looking for, but ultimately the hole was too deep and they don't get it done. To me, that's what I think happens.
All right, people. I think Semenyo is on a good form. And Kudos seems to not be getting any playing time, not because he's not good enough, because he has too much bad behaviors. So he's going to be back with his bad behavior. So he's going to do it for Ghana, people. So Ghana will be getting maximum points in this winter, blood, and they're not going to qualify regardless.
Honestly, it's too big of a gap, and so I think they dug that hole for themselves, and I think that's how it ends. But as we were saying, we'll just tag these into that. Nigeria were awarded their 3 points in a 3-0 win for the Libya incident, which I mean, I'm kind of surprised CAF just did the thing. I'm just surprised they did it. I thought they would just give them a draw and say, well, flights and, you can't control things and things of that nature. But Nigeria are in great shape to move out of their group. They are sitting at top because of the 3-0 win. So they have their 3 wins, 1 draw and a loss. Benin is sitting in second, Rwanda in third, and then Libya in fourth. Libya is not making it through. Mathematically, they're alive, but I think emotionally they are not. And so with that being the case, you're looking at Nigeria coming through as the group where they're sitting. You have the group they have for matchups, because I think the interesting one is their last one versus Rwanda. They have they have Benin, which I think will be a tight game, and that's going to be away. And then they have Rwanda, which I think is a team that might still get out of this group just based off of the team that they're playing, because they have to play Libya, and then I think they can get a draw versus Nigeria there. When you're looking at Nigeria, right, what are you hoping you get out of this side in this window? And they are pretty much through. They just need a draw, and they are they're qualified to go through. But are you looking for that, or is it looking for getting some of your bigger players on the board and on form in the national shirt?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, again, Nigeria, as what we said, it's all about getting a system, style of play going. You have gotten the wins. Some people would say that the group is easy, and all of those stuffs. I would say as a combination of both. To be honest, yes. So get a style of play and get the players going. Get a style of play, get some belief running in the team. The performances have not been great, to be honest. Boniface looks lost in playing a lone striker role. So a lot of things need to work in midfield. Iwobi looks lost when he's playing deeper rather than higher. So it's a lot of things to work on. Wide channels. Sometimes Lookman acted like he's just above everyone else, which maybe he is, but I don't think he's above us. Not one bit. He's just telling himself that. But I know, Yeah. So it's a time to get the cohesion going in the team. And I'm looking to see that this window is not about qualifying anymore. It's more of fixing this damn thing, because you have a World Cup qualifiers that you need to salvage as well. Remember that, that was terribly, a terrible start for them in the World Cup qualifiers. So they need to go out there and try to get some points, and beat up some of these teams. So you need a cohesion to get into the back end of the World Cup qualifiers to see if you can rally to get that spot. So as what I've said for Ghana, it is more than just this qualifiers. This is you stabling the ship for the country's football, men's football going forward.
No, and I think that's the way that you have to look at it, because as much as AFCON is the next thing, you can use AFCON to continue to put that system together as free games, as games that you can use, though you want to win that tournament. I think for them, again, having Osimhen back helps them. Lookman is arguably the best African player on the planet right now, just based off his form. I'm saying based right now. I know Salah's out there, but I think he's been playing really well. And I think for them, it's can they now just put all the pieces together, right? I think this would be a good window for them to just come out and say, hey, we have the players, but we have the cohesiveness. I think Nigeria is a team like where we look at some of the bigger names in Africa, where you say, look at the players on the bench. You do this with Ghana. You do this with Morocco to an extent. You do this with all the big countries you see. You see the players and you say, okay, we expect big results all the time, but sometimes it's more so the cohesiveness that matters more, because stylistically, every team's going to provide a different challenge. And so for Nigeria, for me, I think the conversation for me is, can they now look cohesive on the pitch? To me, it's like if you win both games 1-0, but you are just creating it, it's a little bit more wasteful than anything, but you look cohesive on the pitch. That to me is a good building block with the players you have. You can look terrible, but then score a bunch of goals. But I think for this Nigeria side, especially after the run they had at AFCON the last time around, and especially how they started off with World Cup qualifiers, they need to start looking more like a team that is cohesive and can get the results done, right? They are better than their rivals right now. And I think for them, get this window done, look good, play good, and then go into AFCON with some confidence after the winter break and stuff. So for me, I'm looking for them can they all look good in terms of what they're trying to do? And if they look cohesive, I think that's a good win for them. I think I do expect probably a 4-point window for them, because I think they can get the win versus Benin, and I think they'll get a draw versus Rwanda. I think Rwanda might be a little bit more stubborn in that sense. But I think for them, ultimately, I think that's what they need to look for. Look cohesive on the pitch, get 4 points here, and then just cruise, get ready for Morocco in the winter.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I will agree with you. Maybe I would say they will get all 6, but I think that Rwanda will cause as much problem just the same. So I agree with you right there. So let's see how it goes. People, please do smash the like button, share, and subscribe. To the Great Africans. Yeah, Ghana.
Yeah.
Amenyo. I'm watching.
And guys, we'll be here as the week goes on, as things go on. So I keep your guys' eyes peeled out for all the content that's coming up. Until next time, guys, we'll just say goodbye for now.